Giovanni Tjin hier met Urijah Faber, de California Kid. En ja, hij heeft tijd genomen met ons te praten. Urijah, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Welcome, welcome. So, before we start about MMA, we heard that you have some Dutch roots.
Yeah, man. That's my dad's first generation American. My grandparents are from Holland,
Okay.
from Amsterdam and Benveland,
Bev
Benev.
Beverland? Is it niet Beverwijk?
You may be right.
Could be, could be. It's actually
Yeah.
the city where Steven Struve trains, actually.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? And then
Yeah.
and then Friesland also.
Yes, yes, it's Friesland. It's called,
Okay.
and your last name is actually it's you pronounce it Faber in Dutch,
Right.
and I think it's a typical Friesisch name. I don't know how you call it in English, but I think it's Fries. So that's quite cool. And have you ever been to Holland?
I haven't. I wanted to go. I've been, over to that side of the country a couple times. I went to Italy and been to the UK and then a lot of the Asian countries, but I haven't been to Holland yet, which I want to go.
Yeah,
I do have family over there, so the Snappers and the Fabers over there, that's my Dutch side, so I'd
cool.
like to go over and check it out.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome because we do have some good training camps actually here, and well, we're known of our kickboxing, of course, and now with Dwayne leaving Team Alpha Male, maybe you can I don't know, train here or
Yeah,
have
come
some.
find a new coach, maybe. We'll
Yeah,
keep our eye out for sure.
yeah, because that's quite cool. Let's see. Now about MMA. As I said, it's very new here in Holland, and as a viewer, what was your first reaction to MMA?
Man, I loved it. When we had it over here in America in 1994,
Yeah,
but it was on pay-per-views and it was like big fat guys versus little skinny guys with mullets and guys with one glove on, and there's no rules really.
yeah,
You saw big sumo lose his tooth, getting kicked in the face on the ground, and I was intrigued. I've loved it since I was a kid. Used to watch all the fights, and I always thought it was something I wanted to do, but never thought it would get to this point. It's a kind of a crazy transition into the mainstream world at this point.
yeah. Because that's funny because in Holland it's still an underground thing. It's not mainstream yet. So could you tell us something more about MMA as a sport?
Well, I mean, the most intriguing part about it is it comes from a lot of different disciplines that are established. Some of the oldest sports in the world: boxing, traditional wrestling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, Muay Thai kickboxing,
Yeah,
Dutch kickboxing, whatever you want to call it. But it has these fan bases that are already you know in place and have been around forever. And now it's just a mixture of all those different disciplines to find out who's the baddest dude. And it started out discipline versus discipline, but at this point, it's just a blending of all those techniques, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. It's a pretty honorable thing.
okay, cool. And you started since I think it was 2003, right? Was your first professional
2003 was
fight?
my first fight, yeah,
So,
and I just graduated college at the
yeah.
university.
And how do you see the evolution of MMA? Because as you said, first it was discipline versus discipline, and now with just one discipline, it's just not quite good enough. How do you see the evolution of MMA?
Well, the evolution as the sport goes, like you said, it's you've got to be good at everything now. You used to be able to take just a tough guy that was good at one thing, and he could have his way, but now you have to be extremely well rounded on top of being a great athlete, and you're starting to see different disciplines that have a stronger base. Like wrestling, I would still say is one of the strongest bases for mixed martial arts, and Muay Thai as well, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but you have to know everything else. You're going to be a fish out of water.
Okay,
And
so,
as
so
far as popularity goes,
mhm.
we've got worldwide coverage now. We're on national television here in America. We have I just went to the Philippines. They have it on their balls channel, they call it,
Okay.
and it's free for everyone.
Cool.
Brazil, they have a free station. It's really worldwide.
Well, yes, we're just hoping that it comes to Holland as well, because there's like an event in Germany where Mark Munoz fights Gegard Mousasi, and
Uh-huh.
we would really love to have to welcome the UFC in Holland. Hopefully at first on TV, and maybe do a little event here as well. How would you like to fight in Holland? Let's say we do a event in Amsterdam. Would you like to fight there?
Oh, I would love that. Be cool. Be back to my roots,
Yeah, that's
like
right.
really my roots. Um, I'm sure that I would have some family that I've never met over there that would come to support. I know that my cousin Mark Faber, he's been out to visit here in the U.S. and I think he's building a small little fan base at least of his friends. So that's kind of cool. I would love to fight though, and I don't care who I fight. Maybe Dominic Cruz, maybe Barao again. Those are really the only two guys I feel like fighting at this point.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be. Maybe you can change the name to the Dutch Kid. That would be
Yeah, I don't
awesome.
know. Maybe for the night, maybe.
For one night. Let's see. Um, how do you how did you get involved as an MMA practitioner instead of a viewer? How did that came?
The transition came. It was in 2003, and a small history of the sport in California. It was illegal in 2003, so you weren't allowed to have a sanctioned fight. So I was fighting on Indian casinos, and over in America, because we stole all the land from the Indians. We had some little you know treaties that went on and compacts that allowed them to have gambling in their own sovereign nations, so they can do whatever the heck they want out on their Indian property. So all my first fights were on Indian land before they legalized it in California in I think 2005. So it was me just deciding it was something that sounded fun. I went it out. I went out. I won $200 to show up and $200 to win, and I fought this big Mexican guy, and I just loved it. Fell in love with it. I had all my friends out in the crowd. I had my dad out in the crowd, Theodore Faber, and basically didn't stop. And the sports progressed. Like it was very grassroots. I was, just doing it for fun and turned into a career.
Cool, cool. Times changed, right?
Yeah.
And about MMA, do you evaluate all your fights? Like afterwards, do you view them? Do you study them?
Yeah, I love, that's probably been one of the best parts about being a fighter is you get to, and as a fan of the sport, you get to go watch your fights afterwards. I mean, that's one of the coolest things. And I do try to take stuff away from them, but um, my first instinct is just to kind of recap what happened because instincts really kick in when you're in a fight. So you're not necessarily remembering the whole fight until you watch it again. It's kind of like if you were to jump and run and jump in the water and start swimming, you wouldn't remember where your hands were or where your feet were or your head position throughout that whole process. It's the same thing for a fight. So I enjoy going back and watching the fights. I try to learn, but just mostly to enjoy it.
Okay, cool, cool. Because your record now, it's impressive. It's like 37, like 30 wins, 7 losses.
Yeah.
And what's remarkable, of course, you probably spoke about this a lot, is that 4 of the 7 losses were championship fights. And
Yeah.
if you look at those fights, like if you look back to them, do you see fight wise? Do you see a particular pattern why you lost those fights, or was it just a feeling, or was it just bad luck you got caught and that
Um,
happened?
they're all different. I've had fights where some were bad luck, some were I was outclassed. There's a lot of different scenarios. One fight against Mike Brown, I broke my right hand in the first round, and I dislocated my thumb in the third round, and lost that fight in a decision. I lost the fight to Barao in a decision, to Jose Aldo in a decision. He was taking my legs
Yeah.
out. Barao actually broke my rib the first time we fought.
Okay,
So
wow.
they're all different. against Dominic Cruz, I thought I won that fight. I felt like I had done more damage. So definitely each one's their own scenario.
Okay, cool. And looking to the future, your last fight was in January, and just looking at your at your data, called that, you fight like around 3-4 times a year. I think it's time for a new fight. So,
Yeah.
who would you like to fight right now?
Well, I'd like to fight Barral or I'd like to fight Cruz. Those are the only two guys I really want to fight.
Yeah,
And other than that, I'm just kind of waiting for an assignment. I know there's a lot of tough guys out there. It's it's one of those scenarios where there's always a new young guy
coming up.
scratching his way to
Yeah,
the top. So I don't ever doubt anyone or look past anyone. So whoever they want to give me, I'm ready to fight. There's some rumors. Somebody said possibly Bruce Leroy. Uh,
okay, yeah,
you know, I think he was asking to fight me, and another one was Wilson Hayes. They talked about him.
yeah,
He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, tough fighter as well. But I have no idea. I fought everyone in the top 10 so far.
yeah. Because
So
looking at the ranking, you're now like the top contender. Of course, your
yeah,
teammate TJ is fighting Brown next.
yeah.
What if TJ wins? You gonna scrap?
Um, I don't really have a desire to have that fight. There's
Understandable.
plenty of guys out in this world for me to fight, and I'm not like, I, if TJ really asked me to fight him like as a favor because it would do things for his career and
Sure.
put a bunch of money in his pocket, I would have to consider that. But I don't really have any desire to fight him.
Yeah, it's understandable. Are you training with him for that fight?
Yeah, I'm training. I'm like, that's my focus right now is to push the guy. I'm there to try to beat him up and vice versa. And the guy's tough, man. It's going to be an amazing fight. I feel like for the matchup, I think Baral's probably the bigger guy. I think TJ's probably faster. I think TJ has more weapons on the feet, and he's a better wrestler. And Baral is probably a little bit more dangerous on the ground with his submissions and hits hard. But it's gonna be a good fight, man.
Cool.
People are gonna be surprised, that's for sure.
How do you see it go? A
I
prediction?
think TJ's gonna win. I'm not sure how, but I think he's gonna win.
Okay, cool. So let's just see. I think that those are my questions. I do have some fan questions.
Okay.
Let's go to the first one. Your toughest fight so far, win or lose? Oh, by the way, this one is by Pascal Hartman. Just have to say the name.
I would say probably my toughest fight was against Jose Aldo. Mike Brown was a tough fight as well with my hands hurt, but I was in some excruciating pain against Jose Aldo. That was like he was able to really take my leg apart, and it was all soft tissue. So it was like getting hit with a bat for like 21 minutes, and like getting hit hard with a bat,
Yeah.
and so that really hurt. And he was a very good athlete as well, so he was able to push me.
Would you like to fight him again? Let's say TJ wins the belt. And
To go up and fight
Aldo.
Aldo,
Yeah.
um, it's not like a burning desire. I would never turn down a fight, though. I'm not a type of guy to turn down a fight. So they've been talks of me going up to 145 pounds. It'd be a lot easier weight cut.
Yeah.
I'd be giving up some serious size, but I'm not afraid of any fight really, and I'd love to have another shot. But Chad Mendes is fighting him next.
Yeah. So there's
So
not enough left for you anymore.
yeah, Chad's got that title fight. It's gonna be a good one.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. This is from Ben Knorren, and he's asking what the secret is of the of Team Alpha Male and the successes, because it's like I said, your teammates are like having title fights. What is the actual secret?
I would say this has been 11 years now that this team's been put together, and there's a couple secrets I think that are really help us out with success. First and foremost, we have great attitude. It's a real fun environment. So, this is a tough world to be in, the fight game, and having a group of guys that know how to enjoy themselves and have a good time is important. The other thing is we've always been really eager to learn. We've had coaches in here like, um, you know, Martel Gradi, Jimmy Gifford, uh, on and on and on. We've had guest coaches in here, Master Tong, Dwayne Ludwig, and we're always soaking up in, information. And because we have so much success, coaches are eager to come in and help us out. So we're always trying to learn and improve and push each other and have fun.
Cool, cool. Let's see. This one is by David Kramer. How big is the loss of Dwayne Bang Ludwig at Team Alpha Male?
It's not that big of a deal, really. I mean, he's been here a little over a year, and this team has been 11 years strong.
Yeah.
And we've had some amazing coaches. Part of the thing when Dwayne came in here was, we as a team, it was the first time we funded a coach other than me just paying for it myself.
Yeah.
So everyone came together and paid. And part of the deal was to really blow up Dwayne and do the story about his entrance into the team, and we did that. But this team was already the highest finishing team in the UFC. I think with Dwayne, we've had more knockouts in the last year compared to the year prior. We've had like a mix between knockouts and submissions. But this team has really been solid, and we've enjoyed having him. He's taught us some awesome stuff. But the show goes on, man. We've got some real potential coaches that are coming in they're going to be able to take us to the next level.
Okay. Do you think that you guys could have done this with all respect to Dwayne, but do you think that this has been a little blown up, like Dwayne leaves and then all of a sudden you're not as good as you were before? Because that's what I think personally. It's a little blown up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the truth is, when Dwayne came into our team, I was ranked number one contender. Chad Mendes was ranked number one contender. Joseph Benavidez was the number one contender. This is before Dwayne was here. TJ Dillashaw was number 6 in the world. Chris Holdreth had just won the Ultimate Fighter. Andre Fili hadn't even stepped in, but was one of our top guys we've been grooming for about 4 or 5 years. Danny Castillo was on a big winning streak. So, I think Chad was coming off of 2 knockouts before Dwayne came here. And, Dwayne stepped in, and Dwayne's never been shy about that. He stepped into a great situation with some top-notch athletes, and we're all sitting right there, same spot. So,
Cool.
The story is what it is, man.
Yes. Okay, thanks. Let's see. This is the last fan question. It's by Frank. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Dutch, but I know how to pronounce it. Dutch T. Scheffer. And he asks if, let's say you would retire in a few years, and you did not accomplish to have held the UFC belt. Would that feel like a stain in your career, or would it feel like something that you miss?
Of course, I'd love to get the belt. A lot of people don't know the history of the WC, which basically, from what people know of the WC, the stuff they saw on TV, that was under Zuffa. Zuffa owns the UFC, so it was always a UFC and the WC together, and the WC was the lightweight fights, and the UFC was the heavier guys. So for me, the way it was portrayed to me from Dana and Lorenzo and the whole team was, we were an extension. We were the lightweights of that division. So it felt good to get that belt. Of course, I'd love to get the UFC belt, but I don't waver in my, who I am or how I'm perceived or anything depending on a belt.
No.
I am who I am because of, the way I live my life and, how I treat people around me, et cetera, et cetera. But do I want the belt? Yes, I want the belt.
Sure. Cool. So we spoke about this. This is the quiz, the pop question. So as I said before, we have 4 people on this picture. It's the king, the Dutch soccer team, the national coach, and we have a singer and a TV host. So here they come. So I think I have to do it like this. Maybe I should zoom in like this.
Okay, no, I can come back a little bit. Okay, so we've got
So let's start with the king, of course, His Majesty.
the king. I'm gonna go with probably the top left is the king,
This one.
right?
There's a letter there.
Oh, there's B.
B, right? Okay, cool.
Okay.
And the TV host.
The TV host, I'm gonna go with C.
C, cool. The singer.
The singer, I'm gonna go with D, and the coach,
yeah.
I'm gonna go with A.
Okay, so 2 out of 4.
Really?
2 out of 4, yeah. Let's see. This is the TV host.
Okay, I got that one right.
Yeah, this is the king.
Okay.
He's young, but
I thought you were setting me up with the bow tie because I figured the king would probably have the bow tie.
yeah, that was my strategy, but damn, you got me.
Yeah.
So let's see. This is the singer, and this is the coach of the national soccer team. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
So Urijah, thank you very much for this half hour, and hopefully we'll speak soon or maybe some other time. And well, thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Hey, I have a lot of pride of having my Dutch blood, so I was happy to do this interview, and I'm happy to say hello to all the fans over there. I hope I have some.
Sure.
And I'm sure I'll be out there soon to visit.
Cool. Thanks.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
You got it, guys.
D-based, dream catcher, heed that, seed snatcher, detach, scheme hatcher, cheap plans that I leave fractured, digitize, evolution, reprogram the retribution, celebrating my institution, I'm interested in your dissolution, my wisdom is on your disillusion, no mysticism, this shit is proven, so intricate, I infiltrate to dissipate through this intrusion, this the moment I bring the truth in, my improvement is your conclusion, every moment these lips are moving, I'm
choosing for you.